This year's annual report was presented to you in a film which can be found on LMH TV. Because it was 30 minutes long, we have split it up into shorter sections. This section is about the tenancy standard.
The tenancy standard is about how we let our homes, how we manage the rent and how we manage the tenancy agreement. One of our priorities for 2011-12 was to develop a money advice pack. We developed a Money Matters newsletter and a suite of information leaflets that went out to all tenants advising about the implications of welfare reforms. Another priority was to develop a project to link up with all credit unions. We worked with the money lending team to make sure our tenants were aware of doorstop lenders and money sharks, loan sharks, and encouraged maximum take-up by the credit unions. We wanted to work with tenants and customers to develop a sub-regional choice-based letting scheme to maximise choice. This scheme extends the scheme that was in place beforehand and involved 5 local authorities and 22 housing associations, so it provides our customers with access to far more accommodation throughout the sub-region.
What we actually do is we go out and we support some of the most vulnerable tenants that Liverpool Mutual Homes actually have. And what we actually do, we support them within their tenancy and to make their tenancy sustainable. So that could be, we might go in and see that a tenant has drug or alcohol issues, they might be in a lot of debt, and they might be at risk of losing the tenancy. So we would then identify their needs and we would find the relevant agencies that specialise in the particular needs of that tenant. There are a number of ways that a tenant may be identified to the service. It could be that a housing officer has actually gone to do a routine visit and they've identified that the person seems very depressed, they seem very unhappy, their property is very disorganised, they have no interest in their tenancy. Or it could be that a rent officer has identified that the tenant's housing benefit is actually stopped. Why is it stopped? So they would go out and ask that question. That could bring up a whole range of issues of why. We're not actually qualified social workers. We can't provide personal care or cleaning services or cooking services. However, we can refer tenants who have them needs to the appropriate agencies, and that's a very, very important thing because tenants don't know what is actually out there for them. We do know what's out there for them, and that's the whole point of our scheme. We can refer them and make sure that they have the support that they need.
£331 a year to manage a property.
We let 1,260 homes last year.
It takes 17 and a half days to re-let a property.
We collected 99.6% of rent throughout the year.
Over the next 12 months, we want to further develop our current choice-based letting scheme by developing a more proactive exchange facility. We've always had an exchange scheme in place within Liverpool Mutual Homes, but it's not widely publicised and there are limitations. Through the sub-regional scheme, customers will have an opportunity to consider exchanges amongst a whole variety of landlords. And the benefit that provides is for any of our tenants who are worried about the implications of welfare reform, and in particular the bedroom tax, it will give them an opportunity to consider downsizing and swap properties with other people who are also registered. Well, moving forward, we want to extend the opportunity to develop local letting schemes. We've got 4 local letting schemes in place at the moment. One in Rock Childers in Old Swan, one on the Fountains Estate in Liverpool 4. We've got a new one on Broad Lane, which is Liverpool, it's Norris Green. And we have our final one is in Soho, Trinity Street, just on the outskirts of the city centre. In developing those local letting schemes, we've involved local residents, community groups, other housing associations and the City Council. And what we were trying to do was turn around areas where they'd previously been unpopular, low demand and suffer from high levels of antisocial behaviour. So we gave the community and residents an opportunity to have real input in how we would frame allocations in the future, and they have been successful. We are doing quite a lot of work with with credit unions to try and look for opportunities for people to take advantage of managing their money to a much greater extent. So we've done a lot of work so far, but we're looking to extend that. We also want to make sure we provide an opportunity to reward our good tenants. So this year we're looking to develop a tenant reward scheme, and we're looking to provide an opportunity to reward those tenants who are paying their rent, maintaining the terms and conditions of their tenancy, and abiding by all their obligations in terms of what we consider to be a good tenant.